Hello, beautiful moms and entrepreneurs. This is a place where we come together to learn, grow, and inspire. So sit back, relax, and let's get started. Hello, Unbreakable Mompreneurs. My name is Charisse Walker, and today I'm here with Jill Lublin, and she is so accomplished with so many different things. World-renowned publicity expert, international speaker, 4-time best-selling author, and has been on with Tony Robbins, Jack Canfield, and so many other people. And so, Jill, without further ado, why don't you introduce yourself even more?
Oh, thank you. Well, I'm delighted to be here, and I'm the author of 4 books, as you might have mentioned, including Guerrilla Publicity and The Profit of Kindness. And to that end, I run media mastery intensives as well as kindness circles. So I'm delighted to be here with all of you today to help you get your name out there and increase that visibility factor.
I love that. And so selfishly, I just wrote a book this year that was published last March, finishing the workbook. So then I feel like I can now go on the publicity stage. But talk to me about how you got into this.
Yeah, and by the way, congratulations, first of all. That's no small task. And I'm so excited for you. And your publicity does begin now, my dear. So I'm excited for you. I got into this because in a way, well, let me just say it's my natural skills and talents. And it was something for me, I feel like I'm a messenger of messengers. And I have the opportunity connecting and helping people to really create that message that makes a difference and really gets your name out there. And it gives me great joy to do that.
That's fantastic. And so you talk about your boot camp.
Media Mastery Intensive.
Yeah. Talk to us about what that is.
Sure. Well, I do this super get it done and highly interactive and a lot of fun too, because I think publicity should be fun and, why not, right? And so I'm big on systems and processes to make it easier. And we actually do that inside of the Media Mastery Intensive. Plus, I have actual media there who you can pitch and people just love it. It's highly interactive, so super simple. And that's what I love making publicity is simple and accessible for everyone. It's called the Media Mastery Intensive.
I have to say that is fantastic because on a previous show, I talked about how you pay all these coaches to do things and they give you the knowledge, but they don't ever help you implement it. They don't help you do it. And I love that you said that you go through that with them because I think that is a big hang up for a lot of people. They don't know how to get it. So they might write the book, but then it sits on the shelf and nothing happens with it. And so it's like, okay, you just spent how much time of your life, took away all these other things, and now you got to pitch it and they don't know what to do. Do you find that a lot?
Yes, I find it a lot. And it's not just about books. It's also about your business, your service, your nonprofit, your product, your launch, whatever it is that you're working on. What I've discovered is there are simple ways that are highly effective and easy to actually get your name out there. And I'm the queen of them. I love people and I love implementing it with people and getting things actually done. That makes a huge difference. And I've really seen a huge difference in others while they're doing it.
So let's back up a lot because I don't think some people really understand what public relations is or what publicity is. So how would you describe that?
Well, here's what I want to say to all of you. You're doing publicity, whether you like it or not. What does that mean? From the moment you walk out your door, into a Zoom room, into a meeting, into the Starbucks, whatever it is, right? You are representing yourself and your business. You're doing publicity. So I want you to do it smart and effectively. And, truthfully, just have it come from the inside out so that you are congruent with your message, resonant with who you are and what you do out there in the world. And then have ways to communicate it that are simple and effective. So publicity is everything from, like I said, when you walk out your door, this is a very expanded definition, and all of your networking, how you present yourself, as well as, of course, traditional newspapers, radio, television, magazines, and then adding in podcasts and blogs and all of the wonderful social media opportunities we have, like LinkedIn Lives and TikTok and Instagram Lives, and everything that you can do to control your media and how people see you I'm thrilled about this. I just think there are so many more opportunities that people have that we never had before.
Yeah, I totally agree. Almost to the point where you feel paralyzed, like where do we get started? And so what do you recommend with somebody who's brand new? Um, how should they get started?
Yeah, well, guess what? Getting started with baby steps is a great way to go. I think getting on podcasts first is simpler and simplest. So I always like to recommend people do that. Podcast first, just because you can hone your message. It's a good place to have real conversations like we're having. Like, listen, been on Fox News this week for World Kindness Week, and I got 4 minutes on Fox News, right? And that's television, and you got to be looking great and ready to go and deliver a message that's simple and easy, and it's fast. So I just say that because I think podcasts are just a little bit easier, and you can have an opportunity to create that conversation and then find out the sound bites that work, what lands, what feels right, and what you're saying, like what's really hitting the mark. And that's what we always want to look for. You want to hit the mark with a message, and you want to be concise and precise.
I love that. Concise and precise. And it's hard for me to do that, but I'm working on it because it really can be difficult to sit there. You have so much in your head and like, okay, here's a good example. I met somebody on Sunday that she actually goes to my church, right? And she just moved into our neighborhood. So when she's sitting up on the stand, I recognized her, but thought that, oh my gosh, that must be her sister, because I would never have thought that. So I'm like, I pull her up on my phone. I show my husband, I'm like, doesn't that look like her? It must be her sister or something. And it wasn't until like they announced her name and I'm like, oh my gosh, that is her, right? And so I've been trying to get a hold of her for like the last couple of weeks just to introduce myself, tell her welcome. And Sunday I finally got to meet her. And so she introduced herself. I go, I know who you are. And I go, I'm a huge this fan. And she's like, oh, really? What do you do? Okay, that I have practiced so many different times, right? Now, I am so embarrassed at how I presented myself to her. I muffled it. I did everything. And so how do you practice? I mean, I know it comes with more practice, but when you have so many different things that you want to offer, how do you recommend somebody hone in on what they should give?
Yeah, well, part of this is to be specific and have it in you and practice.
Yeah.
I mean, I have a simple formula for a message, and I'll tell you it in just a minute. And then people always practice it right along with me in every program I do and everything we are together. And I hold people's hand through it and help alleviate this fear or concern or scaredness and all of the things that's human, by the way, that we feel. Of course, me too, by the way, which is why I believe in a script that is also part of who you are, that you can say no matter what, no matter how you feel, no matter, oh my gosh, I met Glenn Close and had to talk to her about who I was and what I wanted to do. And I'm like, oh, so same thing. And so I think that that's really a key. The piece is knowing your message and having it in your spirit, in your soul, and resonant to you so that it can be spoken concisely and precisely and with simplicity. And I do call it a bit of the deer in the headlight questions, like, what do you do? And guess what? Everybody asks that. So you do need to be prepared with what I do. Is I like it to be, because what the media cares about is they like it to be, how is it going to help? Charisse, you want it to help your listeners and your viewers right now, right? And I hope that what I'm saying is helping your listeners and your viewers with real solutions for how to make a message that matters. And one of the things I would really recommend is staying in the problem today is. Yes. And then it's not like just I statements, but it's about you, the listener, the viewer, the person standing in front of me, right? It's about the problems out there. And I think that makes a big difference.
It does. And in fairness, she asked me a completely different way, and that's what caught me off guard because, so anyway. But
well,
you prepared.
So here's the truth. It doesn't matter what people ask. I want you to have your main messages ready to go, right?
Yes.
That's a real key.
And I didn't. That's very true. Okay, so what is the ooh ah factor?
Well, first of all, that's a sound bite, the ooh, ah factor. And I want you all to have some things that everyone can remember what is called a sound bite. And so the ooh, ah factor is uh, created by using everything you've got.
Mhm.
Okay, so your ooh ah factor might be something personal, might be something that is connected to something that is part of your history. It might be using your ethnicity or your religion or being a woman for International Women's Day, or being Hispanic for Hispanic Heritage Month, or being African American for Black History Month, and so it goes, right? Or my business consultant, for instance, mompreneur, exactly, who has a son who's autistic. And so we use National Autism Month to talk about being a mom.
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Mhm.
And, everything else that's required. I mean, these are interesting stories.
Mhm.
So that's something I just really want to underline and put out there to all of you is being a mom, actually also, Mother's Day. But there's also other parts of you. What could we use? Everything you've got.
I love that. I love that. You talk about the coaching program that you have and how it's important. It's important to hire a coach. I know that. I talk about that a lot on the show. But how would you assess hiring a coach and the ROI on that? Like, I want to hire you. What should I consider before I hire somebody?
Well, first of all, everybody's in their own box. I
Right.
mean, I'm going to tell you, I have 5 coaches, yes, count them, in different arenas. One's in, physical fitness, one's in the spiritual realm, and 3 in business, okay, because they cover different things.
Yeah.
So I am many people's coaches in the area of marketing, public relations, messaging, and really taking this public relations journey step by step to actually get your visibility going, because it is a journey and it's an evolutionary journey. And what
Right.
I mean by that is, like, you got a new book out, so your message is going to be uplifted and shifted and changed to something specific right now.
Right.
Yes, and maybe you're launching a new program halfway into next year. Whatever it is, each of us have different times that we do different things. And so that's just the piece that I want everybody to pay attention to. What is it that you need that supports the visibility factor and increases the level of connectedness to your message? And it's slightly different in different times. Remember, I told you I have systems and processes.
Right.
So people I coach and work with, people in my media mastery intensive, that's what I'm teaching them, the systems and processes that work consistently.
And I cannot tell you the importance. Well, actually, why don't you tell us the importance of systems and processes, why that is so important?
Yeah, well, listen, the truth is, as an entrepreneur, as a mompreneur, the reality is you got a lot of things to do. So
Mhm.
what I like to do is keep things simple.
Mhm.
And I'm known actually for making publicity accessible, simple, affordable, and actually effective and easy to implement. So part of that is because I have a 30, 60, and 90-day system. Every 30 days, for instance, we're going to review your message. Is it right? Is it congruent? Has something changed? Are you launching a new book? Is there, like one of my mompreneurs, she's also a vet. Well, Veterans Day is obviously her holiday. And so we've got to do some things for that. The woman who I mentioned, the mom with the autistic son. Well, guess what? There's National Autism Month. We do some things specifically around that. So I like to look at calendars, what's coming up, what's ahead, what's important to connect to your message.
I love that. So, do you strategize individually with these people, or do you
Yes,
kind of give them a
I
guideline?
do. Well, in the Media Mastery Intensive, it is a group program. That's what makes it so affordable, frankly.
Mhm.
And it's focused on a slightly larger group, yes. And then I do private work with people and always focus in on what's next step, what's most important.
That's great.
And let's get this done. It isn't about just telling you stuff, but yes, we're going to do things to get it done. Listen, I owned a PR agency, so I know what it takes. But truthfully, it was $5,000 a month. that was 10 years ago. So now what I did was created new systems, new ways for people to get things done without spending that kind of money, but still able to connect and really create their visibility factor without spending a fortune.
So what would be a recommendation that you have for the entrepreneurs that are listening? They have this business. It was thriving at a certain time, but now a whole bunch of competition has come in. What advice would you give that business to stand out again and to be able to get their customers back so that they don't have to close their doors?
Well, if you want to get ahead of the competition, let me say this. Get your publicity groove on, because what that does is put you to the front of the line. Because when you are featured in publicity, all the places we talked about, or any of the places, start with your local market, start with a few podcasts. Then you create what I like to call the I've heard of you somewhere syndrome, which elevates your status, creates expert status, and has people say, I've heard of you somewhere, and it puts you to the front of the line. So I have a mom who's a consultant in Minneapolis, and she followed my publicity system and my media mastery. And guess what? She got, one line in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune and other things too. But I'm going to tell you about this specific ROI that happened. That one line in the Minneapolis Tribune, guess what happened? She walks into a consulting engagement interview. He says, the man who's interviewing her, and she was up against 3 people. He said, I Googled you and I see that you've been featured in the Minneapolis Star-Tribune. Great job. You got the job.
Wow.
Because the point about that is she got the job because he had heard of her, because he assumed she was good. Because when people see you in media, we call it the you must be good, right? It's an elevation of your expertise so that you can get paid, heard, and seen. And when he had already seen her, the trust factor was built in. That's super great.
And it is true. Would you say that video is really important in publicity?
Video is terrific, but yes, Anne, I have a woman who's real estate. And by the way, I work a lot. Most of my clients are moms and people who are in this audience. Let me just tell you, she, for whatever reason, hated video. She was scared of it. That was part of why she came to me. She knew she had to overcome this fear. She knew that that was an important piece for her, and yet she was afraid. And I will tell you, she was successful. She was articulate. She was beautiful. She was all of these things, right? I thought, well, maybe she has a skin disease. I don't know. But she started gaining her confidence little by little, step by step. She felt more confident. Here's what I noticed, especially, frankly, I will say when people work with me, their confidence accelerates because why? You know your message. Yeah. When you have your message, there is an extreme confidence that does happen that elevates your ability to speak. Well, she turned on her camera. It took a bit, but she did turn on her camera, and she started feeling more relaxed about her ability to communicate. And to me, that's just super great news.
And it really does make a difference practicing and the confidence. I agree with that.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, I know our time is limited because you have another engagement. And so if our listeners wanted to work with you, how would they find you?
So a great thing you can do, which I've prepared for all of you, is a free publicity guide. And this is more great tips. I know we had smaller time together here today, but the great news is I've got more publicity free tips for you about how to implement successfully for your business, and a free publicity masterclass with me, interactive, where you can actually also ask me questions. You get that at jilllublin.com/guide, GYIDE. And I know it'll be in the show notes. And I do also want to invite you all to my kindness circles. I do them. They're every month. They're free also. It's jilllublin.com/kindness circles.
I love that you do that. You do so many different things that are so fantastic. So thank you, Jill.
Thank you.
And Publicity Moms and Unbreakable Mompreneurs is so important. If you have a message that you've honed and you practiced and you have a script, you have a way to get it out there. And it is so important because what you offer, nobody else can offer. And you deserve to get it out to the world. So reach out to Jill. Thank you so much for being on our show. And moms, go out and make it a fantastic day. Beautiful moms, remember, you are unbreakable. Keep illuminating the world with your strength, pursuing your dreams, and reveling in the splendor of motherhood. This is Charisse Walker, bidding you farewell for now. Stay tuned for more empowering conversations on the next episode of the Unbreakable Mompreneurs podcast. Until then, keep shining bright. Signing off with love, Charisse Walker.